Have you ever wondered how to highlight every occurrences of a specific letter in a text layer in After Effects? Well, here's how. Traditionally, for coloring text selectively, we would use range selector. But did you know that there's another kind of selector called expression selector? The influence of the color change will be based on the execution results of the expression. The default is the gradient effect, which, if we take a look at the expression, takes the full value, which could simply be replaced with 100, and then depending on the text index, which increases from one letter to the next, will lead to the increase in the color change. We can confirm this by using an if-else statement that will return a full value, which is 100 for letters after the index 7, and a 0 value for the letters before 7. And as expected, the letters after the 7th place will have the full influence. Now let's have some fun with this text index. If you want to format the text based on the letter content, we can access this information by referencing the source text of the layer, and then using the char_at method in combination with the text index to retrieve the letter. However, there are some caveats, especially for the text layer with multiple lines. If you try to use this to give the letter E the full influence, we can see that the previous character is highlighted because the text index starts at 1, but the character at method in JavaScript starts at 0. We can simply fix this by removing 1 from the value. Now we can finally change the color of all the E's in the text layer. But for multi-line text, there's an extra step. If we add more lines to this text, we can see that the offsetting issue reappears. This is because whenever you press enter, a new line character is being added to the text. We need to first properly convert the source text into a string, which simply means text format to JavaScript, and then use the replace all method to remove all the new line characters from this string. Finally, everything works. We can link this to another text layer, and then use this layer as essentially the search term. We could even add keyframes to the source text to update this character. Or, if you want to make it not case sensitive, then just add a toLowerCase method so that both cases would match. But this is too boring. What if I want to highlight multiple letters at the same time? Well, here's a solution. Instead of specifying a single character, we can use another method called indexOf that looks for a character in a string of text. Then if the letter is found, it would return the index of that character. If it is not in the string, then it will return -1. By looking for each of the character in the search term, we can then highlight those characters if they are found, essentially highlighting multiple letters at the same time. And that's it, using an interesting function in After Effects called expression selector to highlight specific letters in a text layer. Hope you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next one.